In this video, I want to share with you 3 must-know terms if you want to have a successful fashion business. We're going to talk about what those terms are and how that affects your business as well. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Vicki, founder of the Fashion Business Coach, and I love helping fashion brands to scale their businesses strategically and increase their profits. As I said at the start, today's video is all about 3 important terms that you must know about and be following and tracking in your business in order to make sure that you're staying profitable. And honestly, so few business owners that I talk to, whether they're brand new or established and been in business for a little while, very few of them even know what they mean or are tracking them. And honestly, it scares me because they're really, really important. So I'm going to go through those 3 with you and also stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you about a free gift that I have which talks about more terms that are important for you to know in the fashion industry. So first up, we want to be talking about GP. So GP stands for gross profit, and that's a really important number because it basically tells us how much of that money do we get to keep once we sell a product. So it basically means the price that the customer paid for the product minus any tax, minus the production costs and any shipping costs. It's not going to take into account other operational costs of your business though. So things like marketing costs, website fees, the cost of employees if you have them, it's not going to take that into account. So it's purely the profit that we're making on that specific product. And it's so important to track because, and honestly, it's something we need to look at every stage of the business, because if you're at the design stage and not thinking about this number, it can often mean that we'll create designs that are ultimately not profitable because either we are just sort of designing without any costs in mind, in which case often our imagination gets away with us, as it does as designers, as creatives. And then we end up producing something that's really expensive, and then either our customers can't afford to pay that much, so then we sort of drop the profit margin, and then we kind of run into trouble as a business because we don't have enough profitability. So we need to be thinking about this not only when we are, doing our taxes at the end of the year and seeing what our profit was, but when I work with companies, we usually look at this at the design stage for sure, and we're usually tracking it every week. Usually I'm in a meeting with clients on a Monday where we look through the profit margins. So this is a really, really important one. And honestly, I know that this isn't the reason that you got into fashion. It doesn't light you up thinking about your profit margins, right? For the most of you, that's not why you're in this. But it is an important one because, as the name suggests, this is a fashion business and we want to make sure that we can keep the doors open, we can keep paying you, and we can keep our business going. So creating this awareness as to what the gross profit is and how to calculate it and how to really use that number to assess how well our business is doing is a really, really important one. The next one is called EBITDA, and that's going to basically look at the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and other factors within our business. So basically it's a roll up of everything in our business, all of our costs and our profits. And this in a lot of ways is the only number that matters. So anybody who's thinking, well, I track like my social media followers and my likes and things like that, not really important. It's not even one of the top 10 things that I would track in my business or in a client's business because followers aren't cash in the bank, right? So very little effort from my part is put on any kind of follower count, but this number is the one that you need to know because it's going to tell you how much profit your company has made or how much of a loss it's made before taxes. Now, obviously, in order to have a successful business, we want it to be in the profit. And usually we calculate this at the end of the financial year, traditionally. But again, this is something that I want to be keeping an eye on at least once a month. And it's something I encourage and work with clients on to make sure we're tracking this on a monthly basis because we don't want to make purchasing decisions, for example, buying samples for a new collection or something like that. We don't want to work on like development costs to produce something and then at the end of the year find out we actually don't have any money to pay ourselves a bonus or just pay ourselves in general, right? So if you are in this, you either already are having it as part of your income or you want it to be your full-time income. We need to be tracking this to make sure that there's enough money to pay yourself, right? And again, not exciting to be looking at numbers, but paying yourself is pretty exciting, right? This is why we want to be checking this on a monthly basis because we want to be paid on a monthly basis, right? So don't leave these kinds of things to the end, and don't solely rely on your accountant. Yes, get advice from a professional, but also just factor in like knowing the basics of how to run these things yourself and understand, can I pay myself this month? If yes, how much? And other things like that. And then the third part is ROI, which stands for return on investment. And no, I'm not talking about stocks and shares, but essentially anything that you're purchasing for your business is in a way an investment. A common one would be investing in samples for production, for the actual production itself, for hiring a consultant like myself to help you bring more money in, hiring somebody to work with you on your marketing, for instance, like a team member or as a freelancer, something like that. So anything that we're paying out, we want to calculate before we pay the money, what is that return on investment? And yes, this is going to be a maths equation, but we also want to factor in sort of personal preferences and the impact it has on us and our business as well as money. So for example, let's say that you invest in me. Let's give that as an example. So maybe you invest in me, you pay me some money to help you grow your business. So obviously, we'd chat about this if this were the case, but I would say to you, okay, here's where the potential is. I think we can grow your business by this much. So then you can look at the amount I charge and see that it's actually a lot lower than the potential of the growth. And that's the return on investment. What you get back is bigger than what you paid. But additionally, with working with someone like myself, you will also get that support. So you won't feel as alone in your business. You'll have somewhere to turn for, tips and advice and just a pep talk if you need it. And you'll also learn things like time saving. So you get more time back in your day. So as well as that actual financial return on investment, you also get reduced stress, you also get time saving. So there's those other things that we can factor into a lot of things that we invest in. Another example would be if you spent money on ads, for example, Facebook ads. So we need to look at, okay, how much are these ads costing me and how much am I earning? What is that return on investment? And there might also be, some additional benefits to that as well if you're doing your ads right, which might be, for instance, that you don't have to spend as much time on marketing because the ads are doing a lot of the work for you. And, to manage your ads is a lot less time than to do a whole marketing campaign yourself. For example, as you know, I'm not always the biggest fan of ads. It's definitely never my first port of call when growing a business, but I just wanted to give you that one as an example as well. So really important to track the return on investment of anything that you are spending your money on in your business to make sure that it's worthwhile, basically. So I hope that has been helpful for you. If you're keen to learn about more terms in the fashion industry and really start to understand not just the financial side of your business, but also talking to manufacturers and feeling confident speaking to suppliers, things like that, I'll link below to my free glossary of fashion terms. We've got 100 terms in there so that you can see what the abbreviations are, what the lingo is. So if you're new to the industry and you need some help with understanding all of those different kinds of terms across sort of manufacturing, financials, partnerships, etc., you can register free for that. So the link is below. And if you are looking for someone to help you with tracking these numbers in your business, making sense of them and actually using them to grow your business, of course, I would love to help you with that and I would love to hear from you. So I'll also pop my details below as well and you can get in touch and we can chat about how I might be able to help you. Thank you so much for watching this and I will see you in next week's video. Bye.